Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. I am your host, Jim, and let's cue that intro. Yes, people. Welcome back to you know what it is, GNA TV, and it is match day. Chelsea, or sorry, should I say Spurs versus Chelsea, as Spurs are at home. Big game. I have got a Spurs fan. They're not like Man City. They're not like bats. You know, we struggle to find Man City fans here and there. They do have fans. Spurs do have fans that want to represent their club, even when they're not 100% happy with maybe who's there, and what's going on. But I've gone for who I think's the most down the middle. When it comes to Spurs, he's down the middle. He's not too one side, he's not too the other. So I'm bringing to you guys my man, Alan. How you doing, Alan?
I'm not too bad. Thanks for having me on. Realist, I'd say, as a Spurs fan.
Realist is a good word, actually. Yeah, we're a realist in many ways. He doesn't fake. He's not someone that's deluded or anything like that. You know, like you get a lot of fans like that for their football club, very biased in many ways. Yeah. But you're down the middle. How you doing, mate? Anyway.
Yeah, not too bad. Not looking forward to today's game at all. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We're going to delve into it. Obviously, guys, before we move forward, there's over 10 of you here already. Please make sure that you smash the like button for GNA TV. Subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 3K subscribers, so let's continue trying to push towards doing so. And thank you for tuning in. So I say early where we are. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, but maybe late in Australia and America if you're all watching over there as well. So big up to everyone that's actually tuned in as well. We're going to do a combined 11 later. I may open up the lines as well, so you guys can come on and have your say. If you want to ask Alan any questions, if there's any Spurs fans that are in the chat, please let us know. And the Chelsea boys that are all tuned in as well. You know, we'll get you in as well. You can have a say in it. We'll try and drag it until the Man United West Ham game. That's why I've done it so early today. I know it's a little bit earlier than normal for me, but we will want to watch the West Ham Man United game, and then we want to fold on to the Spurs and Chelsea game. Just enjoy the day, really, of football that we've got coming up. But like I said, guys, let's get to 30 likes. So make sure we continue doing that. Smash the like button. I'm trying to see who's in the chat quickly. Bex is in the chat. Big up to her as well. Wira says boom. Concierge of Crime says big ups for the crusty prop and big ups to Jem. Smash the likes. Chelsea fans in the house. Big up to you. Mo from the Blue Lounge is here as well, saying hit the like buttons. What are you waiting for? Big up to him. Declared consistent. He's consistent. I don't think Declared actually sleeps. Every time I he lives in Australia and he's on time. It's 9 p.m. where he is. So evening stream for him as well. So big up to him over in Australia. Steve as well says big ups to GNA from North Carolina. Wow. Big up to you, guy. Thank you for tuning in to the channel. And please subscribe if you haven't done so. But let's get into it, Alan. Obviously, Spurs, Chelsea, big London derby. Obviously, we had a little chat behind stage, and I said to you, I think even though you're not in the greatest of form and we are, I think form is, temporary, and it's a derby, so anything can happen on a derby. I want to talk about Spurs because obviously Nuno has kind of, I think, split your fan base a little bit. A lot of fans are saying they're not happy with him. Some are saying we should give him time. I mean. What's the feeling around him? And also, before we move forward, I've got to say this as well. RIP to a player like Jimmy Greaves. Big up to him. Played for both Chelsea and Spurs. It's such a weird day that he died on the day of when. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was an absolute legend for Spurs. He had a good scoring record wherever he went for England, for Chelsea as well. He was just a phenomenal striker. Never got to see him play, obviously, way before our time, but just his status within the game, fantastic player, and rest in peace. Sorry to see him go.
Well, he represented both of us, Chelsea, Spurs, and that's why I said it's very unusual that he dies on the day that we're both meeting as well, which is unfortunate. But RIP to him, great footballer. GNA TV is international. We are international. We are. Fatter's in Liverpool Street. He's going to the Spurs game. Big Chelsea fan. He's on his way to the game. So big up to him as well. Blue Lounge says, I bought my stream 2 hours forward to 8 p.m. as well. Big up to him. So, delving back into what we were talking about. Obviously, Nuno at Spurs. What are your thoughts over how he's doing at the moment? And are you confident in him being a success at Spurs?
So I'm not. For us, he was like about a 9th choice manager of Spurs overall. I think for fans, he weren't even in the top 10. It like people didn't want him. You've got some fans that because he's won 3 games 1-0, give him time, this, that, and the other. Suppose you can give him time. But let's look, if you look at it in more detail, against Man City, you can argue we caught them cold first game of the season. In that first 20 minutes against us, if they had taken their chances, they would have been 2 or 3 up. Different starts of the season. Wolves should have beat us. They absolutely destroyed us all game. They should have beaten us, but they didn't. You can argue it the other way. You get a win. We're playing bad. That's a good sign. Then Watford, we were average and we're lucky to get a 1-0 win. And then I said on another stream that I see it coming, like we can't keep doing this and we're going to end up getting slapped about by another team. Didn't want it to be Palace. I was hoping we'd get a win against Palace, and then this would be you and Arsenal where we normally struggle, and this would be it. The tactics to do nothing in the Palace game, to change nothing and just watch us get worse as the game went on before the red card. It's not good enough. The tactics were awful against Palace. He's too defensive. He sits the team back. He plays too many defensive players, and it just without their titles, it just makes me think of Mourinho in his last months with us. Too negative. I just don't see it changing. Yeah,
we've got Jack the Ripper. He's saying, Chelsea fan here, give him time to play like Wolves in their first season of promotion. Do you think time is I say that. I mean, Daniel Levy doesn't really sack. He's not like Chelsea, who are very ruthless in sacking. But do you think time is probably the key here when it comes to Nuno?
The time could be, like I said backstage, he could change it around and change my mind. I'm not one of these that has an agenda that I can't, I'll always. So if he can prove me wrong and be like, change his tactics and do a good job with us, then I'm all for it. But as it stands at the moment, I can't see that. But Spurs are quite ruthless for managers. So Poch was here for 5 years. You had Redknapp that was there for 2, Martignol there for 2, and then in the other time since I think early 2000s, we've gone for about 15 managers. So he is quite ruthless. Then we've brought a lot of rubbish managers in. So I think Daniel Levy, if it comes to it, he won't hesitate to pull the trigger. And hopefully, if it's quite bad for the next couple of months, he will.
Well, you've managed to keep a big player, shall we say, in Harry Kane, someone that we had a lot of talk around him, maybe potentially going Man City. I know, is it you were very confident that he wasn't going, isn't you, originally?
No. I said he would. I said he was going. I said he was going all summer, and for me, it's a mistake that he's still there because he does look interested. Man City. This is why I've got you as favourites for the title because Man City didn't buy a striker. They're struggling. Liverpool, a couple of
they dropped points yesterday, didn't they? So
exactly.
Again.
Liverpool, a couple of injuries away from another poor season. United have got good players, but they're not with Ollie at the wheel. It's just not looking like the same challenge for me. That's why I put you as favourites. But with us, I just don't see it being a good season at all.
Yeah, I hear you. Over 25 people here right now, guys. Continue smashing the like button for GNA TV. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We've got our combined Spurs and Chelsea 11 to come later. We are going to talk Chelsea and we're going to talk Spurs. We're going to talk about the game in more detail. We've got some questions. As we go along, we're going to throw in some questions. So make sure you keep asking your questions while we're sort of talking along. We'll try and answer as many of them as possible for you guys. He's saying it's like the Arsenal situation. Some of your players are out for injury, COVID, international issues. You are missing a lot of players, and obviously this goes into today's game. Obviously, you haven't got Dyer, you haven't got Tananga because he had a dreadful performance. You haven't got maybe Son. I mean, they're not 100% sure if he's going to make it back or not.
It doesn't look like he's going to make it back. So he's the first team player. I mean, although he started alongside Sanchez, we kept clean sheets. Let's be honest, Dyer is not a good centre back. It's just we've been lucky to get 3-1 wins. Martin loves Dyer. I don't know why. It's really weird, but So, I mean, the only actual real first teamer that we've got out is Son. Well, Lucas may be missing as well, but the others. I mean, Romero's. I think he's played a bit part in the Premier League so far. Lo Celso's not a first teamer. So that's what I'm saying about our squad. Our squad, we've done well for the future, like in bringing in some top quality youngsters, like to build for the future. But at this moment in time, our squad's weaker than it was last season for me.
Yeah, no, I do hear you on that. Obviously, Blue Lounge, big up to Mo. He's saying the sacking of Jose was a mistake.
No, it wasn't.
I actually think it was the timing was, if you want my honest
Oh
opinion.
before a cup final, yeah.
You could have got rid of him at the end of the season,
Yeah.
but get rid of him, but just before you're going into a big final, which he got used to. Bear in mind, and I actually think in them kind of finals, you needed him. Like that's the manager you needed, because do you know what I mean? So
I mean, the cup run, we did beat you in a cup run, but it was against after that, like lower place teams.
You beat us, did you?
Yeah, we did. We beat you on penalties to just get that in there. But before he should have gone after Zagreb, because that was just, and don't get me wrong, it was the players' plan as well, but he set out the teams, the tactics as well, so he's culpable. Before the cup final, the reason why he was probably sacked is, from what I've heard, is that he was out of the European place in the Premier League. It was the best time to get rid of him for saving money for the club, which is Daniel Levy all over. But then to put somebody like Mason in front of a cup final, it's just ridiculous.
It didn't work, did it? He's such an inexperienced guy to bring in and lead you out, and that just made no sense.
Yeah,
did it?
Daniel Levy was probably like, if I let Mourinho take the cup final and win it, I can't really sack him, and that's probably why I sacked him beforehand.
Yeah,
but wrong timing. He should have gone, but wrong timing right before a cup final.
Yeah, are Kane's recent performances down to a little creation from the people around him, or his disappointment at it has his failed summer move? I mean, you've picked up on that just already and said that you think it's more to do with maybe just not being let go. But I don't think. I mean, he's under contract. I don't think he's not going to play for you guys. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I think it's got a bit of both in there, to be fair. So he does. I mean, against Palace, there was no creativity, literally. But then he didn't seem. Kane in previous seasons, when he's put in effort to try and get himself a bat, he just didn't look interested. So I think it's a bit hanging over from that. There's plans apparently in signing a new contract, but that's just to get his release clause in there so he can go. Yeah. We should have gone in the summer, and we should have ploughed that money into getting a new striker in, but we didn't do it. So
Kane doesn't turn up when it matters. I think, to be honest, I don't think Harry Kane's touch wood. I know he could have a good game today, but when it comes to Chelsea, obviously we're talking Spurs, Chelsea today, he hasn't. I think you find that he's been struggling, and I think with Kane, maybe he does need people around him to get involved. But we know he's a very all-round creative player himself. He wants to come deep, he wants to create for others. But when you're creating for others that ain't contributing to goals, it makes it very hard. And that's why I think with Harry Kane, you need him at the other end of the pitch. You know what I mean? Doing what he does best in, getting in the positions that he is. And I mean, let's talk a bit about the game anyway. I know your thoughts on it. I know you're very not very unsure on the game, but where do you think you can hurt Chelsea? Because there's a lot of people, let's say a lot of teams have struggled to play against us. They've struggled to break us down. They've struggled to understand how to beat Tuchel, the system and how we play. Yeah. Have you seen anything from what you've seen of Chelsea up to now under Tuchel that you think may be an area that you can maybe target and maybe even win today against Chelsea?
So for me, a way to frustrate Chelsea to begin with is to block the middle of the pitch and stop that ball into Lukaku. Arsenal didn't do that, and Lukaku bullied them all game. Yeah. So do that, but then you need to play with two wingers who have pace to behind. So for like long balls to turn your defence backwards, because your wingers get forward, your wing backs get forward, and that's the area where I think you can expose them. But you need two pace wingers to be able to turn that defence around and get them running in the opposite direction. Because if we don't do that, if we just sit defensively and allow you to camp out in our half, it's going to be a long game. Yeah,
I hear that. I think from a Chelsea perspective, if I was to think where can Spurs hurt us, I think you will play to you'll set up to be hard to break down. Number one, I think you'll probably appreciate that. Most teams appreciate it. We'll probably have most of the ball. We're a ball retention team. We like moving the ball around. We hold the ball. It's how we play. A bit like Man City. Yeah, we keep the ball and we kind of stress people out because you. But what I think you should do is I think you should be compact. I think you should try and be compact, and I think you'll try and play on counter. This is why I think an individual like Lucas Moura will probably play with a bit of pace. Harry Kane. Obviously, Bergwijn's out. So who comes in for you, Nick? Who plays in that?
Well, if you go Crystal Palace route, Dele Alli. Apparently on the wing, I never understood that. For me, I'd give the youngster Hill a go, and then probably have Højbjerg. Wouldn't put Winks anywhere in that team. Probably skip. I honestly, I was going to originally go for a 3-0 Chelsea, but I couldn't go that high, so I had to go for a 2-0. That was my honest opinion.
We're going to get back. We're going to come to that later. Yeah.
So put Hill on the wing. Apparently Moura may be injured as well for this game. So I don't know. That's what, yeah. So Moura would be on the other, and then use pace in behind, or to stretch it there. But yeah, it just can't be too defensive like it has to be, because it's Chelsea, because you've got quality all throughout the pitch. But it can't be too negative in the fact that we're not trying to bridge the gap between the deep line midfield and Kane.
Yeah, I do hear that. There's nearly 40 people here right now, guys. Continue to smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new to GNA TV. Let's get to 30 likes, guys. Let's get to 30 likes. You will be getting a combined 11 from me and Alan very, very soon. We're going to
free of charge. Exactly. Smash the like.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be an interesting one to say at the least. Obviously, I'm going to talk a bit about Chelsea as well. Obviously, we've done quite a lot of talks about Spurs and that. Obviously, we are playing very well at the moment. Teams are struggling to break us down, understand how to break us down. Trains going past, sorry. So I think we'll set up how we always set up: three at the back with the with the wing backs, or left wing back, right wing back, 2 in the middle, and then 3 up front. The only thing that what worries me with Chelsea is that the question marks of where are the goals coming from, because obviously Lukaku's been brought in to score the goals, and 4 in 4 games is a very good start from him, especially. But the worry for me is maybe a little bit like Spurs in many ways. We need more goals from other people, and we don't get that. We might get an odd goal here from Havertz or Mount, but I want more from them. I want double digits from a Werner. I want double digits from a Havertz. I want them to not be at the Lukaku level in terms of goals scored, but at least be contributing in games. And I just feel like the one thing that I know you've touted us to win the league, and that might be purely more down to us defensively, people not being able to score goals against us. We're very hard to break down. But I think if you're going to go on and win titles and be competitive, you need goals across the pitch. It's not just the soul. Yourself, look at Harry Kane. Yeah. He scores goals for fun, but where do Spurs end up finishing at the end of every season? So it's important that I think you have that from around our team. And I think, to be honest, starting this game, I think you will have Mason Mount. I think Kai Havertz. I think Lukaku will probably start. I would like to see Timo Werner. I mean, talking about Chelsea, obviously from your perspective, when you look at our squad, is there anyone other than maybe, because I know you're probably going to say Lukaku's a worry because of who he is and whatever, but who worries you when you look at the Chelsea team? Who do you think's the issue for Spurs?
So for me, the people that worry me, it's a lengthy list. So you've got Lukaku, Havertz. I think is an amazing player. For some reason, with Chelsea fans, Mount doesn't get enough praise for you guys, and I find it weird that you have a really great, talented young player who was, for most of your season last season, your best player, and he just didn't get the credit he deserved. I don't understand that. It's very strange. It's like Man United with Bruno Fernandes. They can't praise him. They only criticise, and it's just weird. But he's a threat. Jorginho, you give him the time to dictate a game, and he'll dictate a game all day long. Kante, he can break up play. It's not just that your defence and the way you set out is very sound. It's that when you've got a player like Kante in front of that, if he does play, I think he adds another dimension to you. It makes you even harder to break down. So for me, Kante should start with Jorginho. The players you've got, Alonso on the left-hand side, on the wing, is always a threat. He's very, very good. I think he's also underrated by Chelsea players. So you've got quality. You've got the most complete squad in the Premier League. So you've got quality to hurt teams wherever you want. I think with the Lukaku situation, you needed that. So he's come and done that. It's now up to Tuchel to work out a way to get other players to play off of him and bring them goals as well. Yeah, because and if that happens, then for me, you're going to win this league, so easily. But it just depends if Tuchel can get the other players playing off of him and get them like the double-digit goals that you need. So I understand your concern in that.
Yeah, I think in terms of this game, if we turn up and play how I know we can play, be dominant with the ball, don't allow you time on the ball when you've got the ball, press high up the pitch. That's what we do. We usually press high up the pitch so that when you do win the ball and you clear it, we win it back very quickly. And that's something that Chelsea do very well at the moment as well. And I just think that if we can play our game to the best of our ability, I think we do beat you today. I do think we beat you. But saying that, at the same time, you have got players that can hurt us. And I know Son's not there. Harry Kane is there. Lucas Moura still on his day can be a headache. Do you know what I mean? If he wants to be and cause issues here and there. The midfield is an area that's of interest for me, especially from the Spurs aspect. I mean, Ndombele, someone that was playing very well last season, was touted as being like, one of the best in central midfielders in the league at the time. And I was very still sceptical of him because I thought he was very sort of in and out. He was never consistent in his performances.
Yeah.
How would you set up your midfield, or if anything, give us your 1 to 11 how you would like Spurs to set up today, and I'll do the same for Chelsea after as well.
So this is taking into mind the injuries that we have. So it would be Lloris in goal, Reguilon. It's between an unproven like Royal or Doherty I don't like, so I'll have to put Royal in there. Then it would be, I don't know who's going to go. Sanchez. Would he be Romero or would he stick Rodon in there because the injuries we got and the suspension for Tanganga? So either or with Sanchez. Then I'd have Højbjerg and Skip. In front of that, I would have, if he can play, Mora on the right. But I'm not sure if he's going to be available because he's carrying an injury. So I would have Højbjerg and Skip. In front, I'd have Dele Alli. Or Ndombele. But it's like, say, Dele Alli's nowhere near what he was, and Ndombele's played half like in the the Conference League.
Yeah.
So it's who do you have in there? That's why I'm saying we're in such a mess right now. I'd have Hill on the other wing and Kane up front. So either or Dele Alli and Ndombele in front of Højbjerg and Skip. Winks, no, goodbye, get out of the team. No, it's just not good enough. So
Harry Winks is like Eric Dyer. He's just a fraud of a footballer, isn't he? Let's be serious. They shouldn't be footballers for me.
People, because he had one good game against, I think, Madrid in the Champions League where he done really well. Everyone's like, yeah, a thing like that. But ever since then, like I think 90% of his passing sideways 10 yards or behind him. No, he's not good enough. He's not good enough.
Fair enough. I mean, look, we've got over 50, 60 people here actually. So guys, let's get to 30 likes. We should be pushing 40. 40 likes, nearly 60 people here with us. Continue smashing the likes. Subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. Robbie says here, our attackers are very young and none of them are the finished article except Ziyech. And they tend to run out of ideas when defense don't give them space to work with. I don't think it's that. I think it's with Chelsea. I think it's more of a chemistry thing. It's like understanding who can play with who. And we saw Ziyech and Mount play the other day against Zenit. And for me, it didn't work. And for me, I wouldn't want to see it again because they're both ball-to-feet players. They want to go deep. But the problem is you want to go deep as the attackers and turn around and play it to Lukaku. But who's next to Lukaku? It's easy for the defenders to double up on him and that. And so I think it's important that you have runners. And that's why Havertz, Timo Werner, these kind of players for me should be playing, should be playing. So a Mount Havertz or a Mount and Werner or whatever with Lukaku will definitely be an area.
I agree with that. I think Werner should start because although he didn't have the best scoring season last season, he has the pacing behind. So he stretches defenders. He gives them something to worry about. That creates all sorts of room for Lukaku. If you have just everyone like a focal point to Lukaku and you have no one running off of him, you can sometimes mark. So that's the same with Kane. Kane can get marked out of a game because it's just that focal point and you know where the ball's going. But if you have pace on the wings, you stretch the play, you allow that room for Lukaku or people running in like Havertz. That's how you create a space. So Tuchel's got to work out into his system. If he can, like I said, I think he'll destroy teams this season. I really do.
I do hear you on that. We've got a question here from FZap. He says, do you think Christian will be a good asset for games for Spurs? For this, as he's saying, asset to the game for Spurs.
Do you think Christian? Is that Romero he's on about?
Romero, yeah, he must be talking about Romero.
Yeah. So I don't know. Not seen him. I've seen him play a couple of minutes in the Premier League. From Italy, great defender. When he came across, he had a great season. But the Premier League's different, so it's too early to tell for him. If you go by what he can do or what we've seen him do, then he has all the hallmarks to be a great defender. It's just whether he can adapt to the Premier League.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do hear that. And that's the thing, isn't it, right? These players that come from Europe, we've seen it ourselves. We've got a couple. I look at Hakim Ziyech, who was ripping up the Dutch league with his highest assister in two league seasons. And, he was playing really well. And then he came across to Chelsea. And we've really struggled to get the performances from him at the moment. And
he's had a lot of injuries, though, hasn't he? He's had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, but at the same time, he had a recent shoulder injury and he came back in. And before that, pre-season, he was playing very well. But it's like they struggle to continue their form, consistently. And Hakim Ziyech started the last two games. And for me, he's been absolutely poor and he shouldn't be first in the pecking order. There's other individuals that haven't been given an opportunity yet. And Timo Werner, who I think we need to see more of with Lukaku and others. So, it's going to be an interesting game. I don't think it's going to be a whitewash unless you guys get a player sent off very early or vice versa. I mean, even if we did, I don't think we concede that many goals, to be honest. But it's I'm interested to know who the ref is, because as long as it ain't Anthony Taylor, I swear. If it's Anthony Taylor, you've got a 12th man, mate. That's what I'm going to say. You've definitely got a 12th.
I don't buy all this referee.
Yeah, but have you seen our records with Anthony Taylor? It's not even a joke. Last 4 or 5 games when he's managed us, we've had like 2 or 3 red cards. Yeah, like he's always involved, and recently he's not been involved in for the right manner. He gave some red cards.
Have they been legitimate red cards?
Well,
because the one
I'll give you an example. What's the one against Liverpool? Was that a red for you?
I think it was.
I don't. I think it was a yellow.
I think it's red, but it's not saying anything bad about Reece James, because I think Reece James is a phenomenal player. Yeah, like I said, for me, the best overall right back in the league, like for attack and defence. But for me, I think it was a red card, but I don't know what your other ones were like, so I can't say on that.
Yeah. No, I hear that. Nearly 70 people here, guys. We've already got not even 30 likes yet. I'm not happy with this. We should be on 40 likes, guys. That's disgusting, isn't it? Come on, guys.
You're a Chelsea fan. Smash the like button if you're going to beat Spurs today.
Exactly. And Spurs fans the same as well. If there is any Spurs fans tuned in right now, please.
I think I'm alone here. He's in the blue ends of the woods, man. That's what it is. He's not, But we've got a question. Tottenham need a creative player in the mid. Who will create the chances for the squad this season? I mean, if you look at what he can do, if he's further up the pitch, Ndombele has got a pass in him, and he's the only one I see that can create that killer ball, because since Eriksen went, we never replaced him. We don't have that. We literally are so slow, our build up. Teams can easily sit in and defend against us. So I would put Ndombele further up the pitch until we get a playmaker in. But I don't think, that's the area that we've not been able to fill since Eriksen. So we'd probably have to wait till the summer to be able to try and sign a quality player. But then I don't know, the youngster that we signed, who went back to Metz, is it? I don't know if he's like a deep line midfielder, or if he's or if he's like a.
Who's this young lad that you've got up? It plays. He's I can't remember his name. He's got long, straight hair. Young guy from Sevilla, Spain, isn't
it? Hill, yeah.
Is that his name?
Seville, Hill, yeah. So he's more of a winger. So I've seen. You can only ever see like the best parts of him on YouTube. People put clip. He's he looks like a mini Messi in the way, nowhere near as good, obviously, but like the way he plays, he likes to dribble, take players. Brian Hill, yeah. Oh, there you go. We have got some fan.
Joshua's in the house. Yeah.
So yeah, we have got him, but he's more of a winger. But I want to see him get game time, because he's one of them players I think needs to play to get up. Because he's quite small as well. He needs to adapt to the Premier League. So if you're not going to put him against we didn't put him against Palace. I don't see why you'd put him against Chelsea, but we've got nobody else. So just go for it. Just play him.
I do hear you. But you've heard us. Actually, I haven't given my 11 yet for Chelsea. I know you've given yours. So I think we'll start with Mendy. I think the back three will be of Christensen as a right centre back, Thiago Silva in the middle, Rudiger. I do think Aspie may be rested today, partly to do with more of the pace element, because I think if you're going to play on the counter, we need pace at the back to counter that, if that makes sense. In the middle, there's a lot of talks that Kante will be back in the team for Chelsea. I think we might stick with a Kovacic, who's performing absolutely immense the last 2 games, and Jorginho. I think that's working very well. Why change that? So I'm going to go with Kovacic and Jorginho to start the game. I think Alonso the Snail, unfortunately, will be starting as left wing back, even though I want to see Chilwell in there. But when Chilwell's only played 20 minutes or so of football, it's not going to happen. Reece James, or actually, I think Aspie's going to play right wing back, even though I prefer Reece James to be there. And up front, I think you're going to have Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, and Romelu Lukaku that will be playing. I do want Timo Werner in there. I'd love to see Timo Werner, Havertz, and Lukaku, or Timo Werner, Mount, and have Lukaku. I'd like to just see how that works, you know what I mean? But we have got 100 people here right now, 100 people watching us live on GNA TV. We should be on 50 likes, guys. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We are going to do a combined 11. Me and Alan are going to be doing our combined Spurs and Chelsea 11. Now, I want to know
on this season. Not based on this season. Overall.
Yeah, overall. It's not based on form. This is based on the overall.
Thank God for that.
Guys. So make sure... Yeah, well, make that very clear, actually, because people be like, why is he playing and why is he playing? So yeah, what I was going to say, I will be opening up the lines at some point as well, guys. So make sure that you continue to stay tuned as well. 2 seconds. The missus is asking me for my pin, which is for my card.
Don't say your pin out loud. Well,
Yeah.
Card,
yeah, sorry guys. So yeah, let's do the combined 11, Alan. Yeah, should we just delve into this? Just get into
Let's do it.
Let me share screen with you guys as well. Get involved, guys. I want to know your thoughts on who you think position based on each position, who you think makes it. You have got the super chat option as well. If you want to get involved and want to donate to the channel, then we'll massively appreciate that as well. We're going to start with the goalies because you've got an argument because Lloris is, I think, is a top goalie and has been a top goalie, but I do think age has caught up on him slightly as well. But then we've got Mendy, who I think, and I've said this already on the football terrace, I think he's world class. I think Mendy is actually world class now. I know some people will disagree with me in that, and it's part of the reason I say that is, for me, if you base him on form, he's the best goalie in the league based upon form in terms of clean sheets, the goals, the least goals that he's conceded. He's a Champions League winner as well, doing what he did, last year as well for Chelsea in his first season. I think there's talks that if you're top two best goalies in the Premier League, then you should be touted as being world or at least one of the best best in your position in the world. So that's why I would say he's world class. But if I had to choose between Lloris and Mendy, I think Lloris has got the overall form, if that makes sense, when you think about the longevity and what he's done. But even when you think about what has Lloris won at Spurs, he hasn't won much. So, if you're looking at the overall picture, I'm still going to be a little bit biased here and choose Mendy over Lloris, only purely because of what he's done in such a short space of time compared to what Lloris done. But he is a World Cup winner, which I forgot about, actually, isn't he? So, what's your thoughts?
So for me, if you were to take everything into consideration, one of the big things I always say when using Lloris, because don't get me wrong, as the years have gone by, he's got more errors coming into his game, Lloris. But if you look at shots faced to save ratio, Lloris faces a lot more shots than the other big six teams and saves his save percentage is a lot higher because he's a quality keeper, but he does have the odd gaff in him. That's got worse over the years. Mendy, I wouldn't say he's world class yet, but I'm not going to take away from him. He's a quality keeper, but I don't think he's world class yet.
Why is he not world class?
Well, I don't know. Nothing. I mean, then you can say that it's because he makes everything look easy. He doesn't stand out. You see keepers stand out and look world class, But there's nothing from the games. I know you guys have conceded, 1 goal this season, or is it 2?
Liverpool 1. Did we concede 2? I can't even remember. Maybe 2. Aston Villa, didn't they? They scored as well. Yeah.
No, that was 3-0. So I know you've conceded 1, but
1 or 2,
for me, there's been nothing stand out in those games that you would say, oh, that's world class. It just seems like so that's why. So like taking the Euros, Donnarumma, when called upon, world class moment, like big saves, world class moments, and in the penalty shootout against England, when it came to it, 3 saves in a row. Yeah, 3 saves in a row and won them the Euros. So, well, not 3 saves, 2 saves and penalty miss, but that fear was struck into the England players because he's such a good keeper. I don't think Mendy has that at the moment.
Okay.
But I would still say if you go since Premier League, I mean, if you're going longevity, I'd say Lloris. But if you're going on current, not just current form, but like in the last season or 2, I can't recall many errors that Mendy have made when Lloris has made quite a few. So I would have to consider. I would have to concede.
Mendy can make mistakes. I think Mendy hasn't made many or any mistakes for his touch words. You know what I mean? They're very minimal mistakes. I think I agree with Lloris in the past. He's made some horrendous, absolute mistakes. But at the same time, he has made some world-class, unbelievable saves, and it's hard to really. Like I'm gonna be biased. I'm sure you're probably right. I am probably gonna end up choosing Mendy just purely because if I was to choose my 1 to 11 combined based on what I want from my goalie, and I just feel Mendy from what he's done up to now. There's not much really that you can say he's done bad, as with Lloris, even though he's got the longevity. There's a lot to look at. So maybe people will say, well, you need to see what Mendy does for 5 years, and then we can compare it. Then I get that.
Exactly. But if I'm going on since he's come into Mendy, all that. Like I said, Lloris had a couple of months last season and the season before where he would have just errors in his game completely. I haven't seen that from Mendy yet. So I would would give it to Mendy. I will
Okay.
concede that one.
Mendy is I mean, viewers, I've asked you the question as well. Who do you want? What's this doing? There we go. Who do you want in goal? It seems like Mendy. We've got an agreement between me and Alan already that Mendy is the goalie to be.
What's everyone else saying?
Everyone else is saying. Let's have a look, because we've got obviously Beck saying we've not conceded any goals in open play this season. Real Chris is a Chelsea fan. He's saying Mendy.
Yeah.
Bobby says there's got to be Spurs hat talking. How can you say Mendy's performance against Villa at least didn't stand out? Okay, I mean there's a lot of Chelsea fans in it, so you got to bear that in mind. Yeah. Mendy, Mendy easily. I don't know who NBZ supports, but he's saying Mendy. But I respect Hugo Lloris, but Mendy is better at the moment. Remember, guys, this is the overall. Yeah, this isn't just based on form. This is the overall player, the individual as well. So bear that in mind and what they've done and who they are as well. So how are we playing the formation? Do you want to just do how it is 4-3-3? Because if we do end up doing a 3 at the back, it's going to end up being Chelsea most of it. So we need to make it as fair as possible. So
we'll stick with that. Thanks for the charity, Jim. Thanks for the charity.
Listen, guys, there's over 160 people here right now. Make sure that you continue smashing the like button for GNA TV. We should be on 50 likes by now. If we're not, let's get there. Next aim will be 60 likes. Subscribe to the channel. We're on our road to 3K. Giveaway will be on the 3K as well. Once we get there, I'll be doing a giveaway on the Instagram page of GNA TV, so you can follow us over there. We've got a Discord channel as well. Discord channel is there. I'll get one of the people in the chat to put it in the group for you guys if they can. If Bex is there or Hassan, if you guys can put the link in the chat for them to join us on there as well. Loay saying, love my Lloris, but I'll take Mendy. He only conceded 4 goals in the Champions League last season, which was very underspoken about when you think about that. That's pretty impressive. I don't even know if that broke a record. I think that might have even broken a record in Champions League.
Quickly before we move on, what was Mendy's, because he was with you under Lampard as well. Was he as good under Lampard as he is under Tuchel with his system? I think, exactly.
Yeah.
So
because
I think,
he under Lampard, he took a lot more. He had a lot more shots against him. He had, it was the system was completely different. He was called upon more. The only thing I would say is that the Aston Villa game is a good example of it. We were poor in the first half, and they should have been drawing with us. And there was so many moments where we was called upon, and he stepped up. Good clutch saves, kept us in the lead and that. So, yeah, it's I get what you're saying. I think we do need to see more from Mendy, and I think you'll see that when systems change, when different managers may be coming and things like that. And I think he'll be a Chelsea player for a very long time. But let's move on to right back, because from our perspective, we've got Azpilicueta and we've got Reece James.
Just put Reece James in there. I'm not even arguing this. Just put Reece James in.
Reece James over Azpilicueta as well, yeah? You think Reece James all day?
Like I said, Reece James better defensively. Tanganga, potential for the future as a right back, yeah, but he's nowhere near. Just put Reece James in. He's by far the better at, like I said, attacking, you'd probably say Trent is better attacking, Wan-Bissaka is better at defending, but overall, in both attributes, Reece James, for me, he's just put him in there. I hate saying it because he's Chelsea, but he's a great player.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't going to disagree with you on that one. We've got the Discord link there, guys. Bex has put it in for us. So if you want to join the Discord channel, all of our streams that we do get put in there, so you guys won't miss, because sometimes of YouTube, they don't notify you guys when I go live. So if you go over and join the Discord group, we will then let you know when we're doing stream. I'll upload the YouTube links on there as well for you guys to get involved. And we've got a group chat over there, so you can all go over there after and we talk about games, etc. as well. Big up to Will as well. Big up to him. Excellent question. The system helps a lot, not a lot of high danger chances. Guys, there wasn't much argument in terms of from Alan in regards to choosing a right back. He's gone for Reece James. I'm the Chelsea fan. Obviously, Aspie is a good shout. There's a lot of Chelsea fans in the chat as well. Guys, who should it be then? Aspie or Reece James? I think I'm going to probably throw in, if you're going on the longevity and what they've done and the winner and the leadership and experience, I'm going to go with Aspie just because of that, and who he is. But at the same time, he's lost a lot of speed. He's not the same player, I would say, he's now, but he still does a good job. As with Reece James, he's up and coming. He's still, even though we've seen quite a lot from him, there's still more to see from him, if that makes sense as well. So at the same time, I think there's no real right or wrong answer on this. So I think on this one, we'll stick with what you said and go with Reece James. Go with Reece James. Why not?
Yeah. Because for me, he's solid as a defender, but also against Arsenal, he was pretty much playing as a winger. He was tearing Arsenal apart on that, right? Like when he got high up the pitch. I just think he's an amazing player. And just pees me off that he's playing for you guys.
Yeah. I want to just say, because there's a lot of people saying RIP Jimmy Greaves. A big up to Jimmy Greaves. Obviously, he's passed away, unfortunately. A big player for both Chelsea and Spurs, back in the 90s as well. So it's, sort of, rest in peace, mate. And, my thoughts are out there with the family of his as well on that one. Reece James, Aspie. I'm getting turned away. Look, Aspie. Aspie. All right, I'll change it based on what the viewers want.
Yeah.
They want Aspie. I have to change it. We have to change it. We have to. We got pushed out on that one. I thought we'd have a bit of agreement here. So let's go Aspie.
Yeah.
And while we're doing that, what about left back? Because you have got, this is where I think you might have an argument, because you have got Reguilon.
Yeah.
We have Chilwell. We have an Alonso that's kind of being played a lot more this season by Tuchel, which I'm still a little bit lost on, to be honest. I don't understand why he still gets in our teams. Chilwell had a very good end of last season. I'd say half of last season when Tuchel come in, he was played a lot more. Obviously, Reguilon has been out injured with you guys last year, wasn't he, for a little while? I mean, I'll start with you. Who would you choose to go play in this left back position? And why?
Chilwell, I believe, out of the two, from what I know, from what I've seen, I would, if I was going to go out the two Chelsea players, I would put Alonso, because I think Chilwell is, hasn't assisted him, but for me, Alonso just looks a classier player. I'd love to have Reguilon on the team, because he first came into us and he was amazing. We beat Man City 2-0. He kept Mahrez in his pocket. Mahrez never went past him. He's got a great ability. When he came back from injury, he wasn't the same player. But at the start of the season, he is our only defender that looks up to the challenge to actually, consistently get forward and attack, or as well as get back in to help defend. Because when you've got, like I said, our midfield being packed out to help the central defenders, their jobs are made easier, whereas the wingers are whereas Royal got absolutely destroyed by Zaha, Reguilon hasn't had that game yet where he's been turned away. So when he's at his highest and he's at his best, Reguilon is a very capable and decent defender. So, and he's got assists on him as well. Yeah, he hasn't scored like Alonso, but I just, for a youngster as well coming into a new league, I think he's done really well.
So, based on that, who are you saying then?
I've got to get some Spurs players in who I think, and I'm not just going to do it. I would have, for me, it's either Reguilon or Alonso. I don't think Chilwell gets into it.
Did you hear that, viewers? Nearly 200 of you here right now. 200 people tuned in. No Chilwell, Alonso or Reguilon is what Spurs fan Alan.
How do you back a Chilwell who barely gets into your team? Who's not favoured?
No, wait. Let me bring in some logic here, right?
Okay.
He won the Champions League. He then went to the Euros. Never got played because Luke Shaw was the best left back last season. I don't know why he didn't get in. I still think he should have, to be fair, on rotation. Southgate didn't really rotate the England team a lot anyway. So again, he didn't play a lot. He was on the bench. He then had a break because when you think about it, England got to the final. All the England players didn't get back till I think close to when the Premier League kicked off, if you remember. So a lot of them wasn't fit. They had like late breaks, a bit like the Italian team and stuff like that. Yeah. He then came back in the team. He then was fighting to get fit, but then there was also Tuchel came out and also mentioned that there was he was having a bit of a physical mental drainage out of football, and he wasn't ready. And obviously, we got to bear in mind Alonso had 5 weeks of training. He didn't go anywhere. He played pre-season, and yes, he started. But in the long run, I do think Chilwell will come back in this team. I do think Tuchel will make him our number one, because when you look at Chilwell as the overall player, he's better going forward. He's better going backwards. He can defend and he can score. Yeah. And for me, I think Chilwell on his day is probably one of the best left backs in the Premier League on his day. But then you could argue with Reguilon as well, because I think when Reguilon on his day is fit and playing and having him one of them games, I think he could be easily one of the best. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't throw Alonso in it. I just can't take that snail anymore. You can't get any better with Alonso. You know what he is. You know what he is. He can't get any better than what he is. Do you know what I mean? His limit is capped. Like, he's there. But with Chilwell and Reguilon, I know that they could probably go to there. Does that make sense? If they really push?
Yeah, I understand what you mean about like for the future and all that. For me, if I was arguing about the team right now, if I was arguing, so I understand Chilwell pocket Mahrez. Reguilon in the league pocketed Mahrez. Last season we beat him 2-0. So they've both done that. But when you say about in the Champions League, your team won the Champions League because your team was that much better. It wasn't just Chilwell that won the Champions League. It was your full team. So if you're going to go based on trophies, then you'd have a Chelsea player in there all the time because Spurs can't get. Let's be honest. So I would say, for me, I would say for what I've seen in like last season since Reguilon's come today, if I was going to have it, because for me, although you're saying about Alonso being Snell, I think Alonso is the classier player.
He's not a left back though. He's just not. He can't defend. That's why I wouldn't look. A lot of people in the chat are screaming for a 3-4-3. That's what they're asking for because I know what they're asking for. But guys, if we do that, it then becomes unfair on the Spurs because we end up having our three at the back, our field. You know what I mean? And it will only be that. That's why I've had to go for a 4-3-3. I have to, guys.
Yeah,
make it a little bit fair for the.
Give Spurs a bit of charity, guys. You're going to beat us.
Charity.
What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
We've got nearly 230 people here, guys. We should be on 100 likes minimum. We should be on our way to 150 likes, and we're not there yet. We're only on 60 odd likes. So 100 likes, guys. Come on.
Can't rely on Chelsea fans for anything, can you?
let's push for that. And if you're new to the channel, we're 30 away from 2.8k subscribers. Again, we could do that on this stream today. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell notification button as well. Bex, who's in the chat, will continuously put in the Discord link as well for you guys to tune in as well and follow us over there as well. Fair Spurs. Reguilon. I'm saying Reguilon. Yeah. Some are saying Chile. I'm going to give it to Reguilon.
Oh, thanks. I was going to say I'm going to be that Spurs fan, Aaron, but I gave you like the right back, no problem, because I can't argue right back. So for me, it's definitely for me, it would be Reguilon.
I'm going to give it to Reguilon, guys. I know there's a lot of people going, but Jem, you can't do this. It's Chilwell, Champions League winner. I'm going to give it to, and look, I will open up the lines. So if you want to come in and, debate what we've chosen here, you can do so, guys. Yeah. Let's move into the central defence because who have you got? That gets in this because I would have argued Toby. For me, it's going to be. Should we just do both? I think it's going to be Rudiger and Silva. If you want my honest opinion, would you agree or would you agree?
I mean, you can't base it on Romero for Spurs because he's not he's good. If you were to go on based on last season, like as him as a player in Italy, he would have a shout. But apart from that, no one else in that Spurs defence in centre back are getting anywhere in that team. It's just, I would feel like an absolute twat if I was trying to argue Eric Dyer and Rodon and Sanchez as central defenders. No, come on, let's just fill him in and move on.
Now, I look. Some people, I think the question for Chelsea would be, does Christensen get in? I mean, for me, Rudiger and Thiago Silva are the two best. There's an argument for Romero, got Serie A Premier League defender. I mean,
So if we were going to include him from that, like in Italy, then he would have a shout at getting in. But like, are we going to include him?
What have we seen? What have we seen? We haven't seen anything from him.
In the Premier League, I think he's played just a couple of minutes at the end of one of the games. I think it was against Watford. But if you're going,
what is this? This is a typical Liverpool fan. Romero's levels above Rudiger is what the Liverpool fan is saying.
If you if you take it, from what he did in Italy, Romero has a shout to get in there. But if you're going based on this, not just this season, but I haven't seen enough of Romero in Serie A to compare him to Rudiger in the Premier League. For me, Rudiger has progressed massively over the last season, the half 2 seasons. So if Romero had been with us for a season and he had the same form in the Serie A, then I would say Romero in there alongside Silva, but fortunately not.
Yeah, I agree. 230 people here, guys. Continue smashing the likes buttons. We appreciate it massively on this midday preview show. With 25 away now from 2.8k, we can do that, guys. We've already got 8 people that's just subscribed just now. So let's try and hit 2.8k subscribers, guys. That'll be the aim for this channel. I'm looking at some more people saying in the chat. We've got Rudy Silva. Christensen has played more, is what our fans saying. Bex, big up to Bex. She's saying Rudiger, Silva, Christensen is close though. AC and Rudy is what Mogsy's saying. Romero.
No Silva.
Who's
The
that?
comment previously just said Christensen and Rudy. No Silva.
No
Really?
Silver. Yeah, apparently so. Remember, guys, this is based on the overall. This ain't based on form. This is the overall individual, what we've seen, what we know. Yeah. So
Yeah.
just remember, regular on his ass is what someone just said there. Subscribe to the channel. Kids is not having it. Kids is not having it in the chat. The midfielder. Right. Let's move on. Let's go midfield because it's a 4-3-3. Let's talk about the guy sitting in the middle. Obviously, your argument would be Højbjerg. Mine would be Jorginho. There's an argument that Kante could play, but I think Kante could play on the right, so we'll forget that for now. Give us a reason why you think Højbjerg should potentially, be played over Jorginho, in your opinion.
So for me, I would have both. Because for me, Højbjerg's the type I want him just to sit and because he's relentless. He's got so much to keep getting around the a pitch and break up play and all that.
Right, let's do three then. Let's do your three rather than just do one because then it makes sense while you're doing it as a free. Does that make sense?
Okay, so for me, what do you want me to pick?
Oh, where's he gone? He left. Alan cut off. Alan's left the chat, guys. What are you saying in the chat, though? I'm on my own. Doesn't matter. We'll continue the stream as we go. So we've got Kovacic, Jorginho, Kante, Favours saying. Ben Russell saying crime if no Højbjerg in midfield. Chelsea should fear Tottenham is what Ultra Parazan is saying as well. Fair enough. J5. Guys, I'm going to ask you in the chat. Over 200 of you here. Who is your proposed free? Who is your proposed free in midfield? Let us know. Alan cut off. Alan's back with us now as well.
I'm indeed.
Go on, mate. Continue.
So is it, before I got cut off there, is it the three altogether or is it just three Spurs and you argue the three Chelsea?
No. Three combined. Who would be your three sort of combined midfielders and why?
So I would put in Højbjerg, Kovacic, and Jorginho.
Højbjerg, Kovacic, and Jorginho. No Kante. Can you answer that question, please? Why?
Well, if I want Højbjerg in there because he's an animal. So if I put him in there, for me it's Højbjerg or Kante. But then if I was to, that's the only thing is because it's trying to fit some Spurs players in there. So then I would probably go. Okay, let me use a bit more. Højbjerg, Kante, Jorginho. Kovacic has done well recently, but he hasn't been the best for you over the last season. So I would, because I was thinking either Højbjerg or Kante, and I was going to be stubborn and put Højbjerg in over Kante. But
you got to bear in mind you could also play a Mount there as well, because it depends. Because it is a 4-3-3, so you're going to have what? So you could have two defensive and one attacker out of the three. You could have,
I'd say Mount had a shout at going higher up.
Okay. That's fair enough. We can talk about that later on. I'm going to go with Jorginho, N'Golo Kante, and what about Ndombele? How comes Ndombele's not got in this team?
He's been too hit and miss. For me, he needs to have a proper season where he's performing to be able to go in there. I can't put a player in who doesn't know if he wants to be there. His friends might leave, so he wants to leave. I can't. That's just no. It would just be stupid to even consider him when he's playing. That's when Mourinho actually got him in and playing. If you cut out that bit where he was amazing for us, then you could put him in. But if it's going overall, I need to see more from Ndombele on a consistent basis to have him in that team.
Would there be an argument that Jorginho's? If you're looking at the overall picture on Jorginho, he's played very well under Tuchel, but there was like the chat said, there's a lot of criticism over Jorginho and his performances prior to that, saying he's not good enough, wasteful with the ball, etc., etc. Could there be an argument that if it's on the short term, but in the long term, if we're looking at the overall picture, does Jorginho deserve to be there? I mean, Kovacic was our player of the year 2 seasons ago. Do you know what I mean? So
that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
So I think this could go. And then you look at Højbjerg, who I think had played very well last season for Spurs. It was very important for you guys. Did he do much other than past that? I don't. We knew he was a good DM, but he was at Southampton at that point, wasn't he as well? So
to be fair, when we got him as a signing, I was like, "What are we signing him for?" I didn't rate him. He proved me wrong, which is great. if you guys want to look at a longer period and put Kovacic ahead of Jorginho, then that's fine. But I'm having Højbjerg in that team.
Yeah, you're amid that Højbjerg has to go in that team, yeah, one way or the other. All right, so why don't we do Højbjerg? I can't do a combined 11 without N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante for me gets in. You could go through every Premier League preview, which we're going to do on here, and maybe do a combined 11, and N'Golo Kante just gets in every time.
Do you know what frustrated me with Chelsea fans last season, right? All it was most of the season was Kante, our player of the year, Kante for Ballon d'Or, Kante. And then in the Euros, Kante didn't perform and France went out. And Jorginho obviously, and then all Chelsea fans like that, Jorginho Ballon d'Or, Jorginho best player for us and all that. I was thinking to myself, no, you were crying out it was Kante for most of the season. And then Jorginho, then you changed to Jorginho after. No, for me, Kante was your best player last season. Champions League, he absolutely bossed those champions. The later games in the Champions League, he absolutely bossed them.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, guys, we're on 88 likes. We're 12 away from 100 likes. Let's try and get to 100 likes on this stream. Also, subscribe to the channel as well. We're about 24 away from getting to 2.8k subscribers. I'm just going through chat because it's going mad at the moment as well. So let's go through it. Spurs only have 2 world-class, Lloris and Son. Not even Kane. He's been shouted there from Cole P. Can't a J5 cover is what we're saying there. No one mentioning Winks.
There's a reason for that.
Saying as well. Jorginho had a better year. Kante played well end of season. We've got it. Don't add no Spurs players to the mid. They are shit. Is what. Højbjerg over cover. Wow. LOL. You can name this team Charity FC. Is what we're saying. Charity FC. We have to be fair, guys. I could sit here and just and argue every Chelsea fan. You know I would as well, but I can't just completely just say, it's not fair. But they're gonna have some talk now because we're going to the front three, and the front three is an interesting one because in terms of longevity, Spurs. I mean, he's got Son and Kane, so he's going to argue till he's blue in the face on them two. But then obviously we have Lukaku now, so. It's go on, Alan. What are you saying for your front three and why?
So my front three would be Son, Kane, and either Havertz or Mount. No, not Lucas. I think Lucas is underrated for what people believe because people always link it back to the hat trick and he's living off of that. But he's one of our better players when he's running at players but we just don't do it enough. So Kane, don't get me wrong, Lukaku I think is a quality striker now, and obviously every season over his career he's got better with time, especially in Serie A. But I know Kane hasn't won a title, but if you're looking at ability-wise, I think he's the better striker out of the two. Currently, he's not because obviously he's not scored, and currently Lukaku is the better striker. But then put Lukaku out of position because Kane would be my number 9 up front. Would you put Lukaku over Havertz and Mount, as a winger? Or if we just go for the best three, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's just the formation that's the issue because we could muck around with the formation if we want to, but then it mucks around the midfield. So you could do this is the issue. That's why we stick to a 4-3-3. You could do a 3-5-2 maybe or 4-2-3-1, and even that wouldn't work, would it? Yeah. Even if you don't say it like that, that still wouldn't work. Do you know what I mean?
If I'm going for keeping to the formation of 4-3-3, then I'd have Kane as the number 9. I'd have Son on the wing, and I would have Havertz or Mount on the other wing. I'm not sure. It wouldn't be Timo Werner, although I think he's if he plays alongside Lukaku, I think you see the best from the season. For me, it would either be.
All right, let's do a 3-5-2.
Yeah,
change it to 3-5-2 because a 3-5-2 is. If I can find it and this thing moves out of the way. There it is. That's a 4th. What have I just picked there? 4-1-2.
That's a diamond, isn't it?
There we go. 3. That's a weird 3-5-2, but yeah. Obviously, Reguilon would have to play
on the left-hand side. Jorginho's gone onto the left wing. Can you do that?
No, we can't. We can't do that. We can't do that. But Højbjerg and all right. So let's remove it then. Let's make it a bit interesting. Who sits as the 2 then? Højbjerg and Kante or Højbjerg and Jorginho?
Yeah. Højbjerg and Kante. Jorginho, I think, can be, you know.
I agree. He's got
Yeah.
Højbjerg. I know some people in the chat are going to go mad because there's no Jorginho in this team, but I actually think Kante, if we're going on based on the overall, guys, remember, it's the overall 11. It's not form 11, it's overall 11. Golo, Kante, and Højbjerg. Okay, fair enough. And then left wing back, we're saying Reguilon, yeah? That's what he was in anyway. Right wing back, we were saying, oh, and actually, no. This is the thing now, because you ain't going to be able to get Son in there. That's the issue. You're going to have to. So if we're going right wing back, it's got to be Reece James, right?
Not unless you have Son on the right, and then have Lukaku and Kane, and we think of somebody that would sit behind them. Havertz, maybe.
Can he play as a right wing back though, Son? That'd just be weird, wouldn't it?
But the only time we tried it is when we played Chelsea in the FA Cup, and he gave away a penalty. So
no, he don't make the team. Unfortunately, all right. Maybe he could sit behind. Maybe he could sit in the middle behind them.
I would. To be fair, if I was to do the two, I would put Kane. I don't think Son could do that deeper role. Maybe Kane would, and Son would be on his back like he normally is. Or then you could put Son behind. But I don't think he can play that position either.
But you're saying play Kane behind in the middle,
a little bit deeper,
and then play Lukaku.
It's just trying to fit them all in, really.
It's just how we want to do it, like Lukaku, and then. But I would play Harry Kane up front with Lukaku.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So, if we're going on overall, then Son does have to be in that team.
I'd play Kane, and then I would go with. This is what I would want. This is my guys. Yeah, this is not anyone. This is what I would want. Yeah, that's how I would go.
And Son doesn't get in at all.
Well, this is what I don't think he gets in this formation.
Yeah, he doesn't get. Probably wouldn't get in that formation, but Son has to be in that combined 11.
Play 4-4-2. Maybe we could do a 4-4-2, basic 4-4-2. Yeah. The thing is, you do different formation. It changes your options, like how you would play it, who would play. Do you know what I mean? We'll do a quick 4-4-2 as well. Harry Kane, left wing back, yeah? Left back. All right. So, Reguilon, what are you doing there? I don't know. It's just what I'm saying. It mucks everything up. Do you know what I mean? And then you have to do it all again. So, up front, we are saying, Kante, why are you there as well? So, and Havertz is up front at the moment. So, if we was doing what Ben said, which is a 4-4-2, we'd have Kane up front, yeah, with Lukaku. Yeah. And then we'd have Son on the wing. That'd be fair.
Yeah.
Son on the wing. Who plays right wing? It's a question, I feel, because it maps up us. I mean, do we go with a Reece James, or do we play a Callum Hudson-Odoi? Do you throw in a Hakim Ziyech, who could probably play there out of them all? To be fair, couldn't he?
Yeah, but then I wouldn't say Ziyech's good enough to get in this squad as is. So that's the only problem, because obviously, who did we have that we dropped? Was it Kovacic, or was it Jorginho that's been dropped because of the moving around of the thing?
Jorginho.
Can Jorginho play out wide? I don't think he can.
No, it'd have to be for me. It'd have to be like a Ziyech. I think that could play that, because that's
okay.
That would make more sense
when you're trying to fit a team together that can't. Yeah.
You just can't fit together. That's the issue. Kane sucks, is what people say in the chat. I got a little bit lost. Son, Kane, Lukaku, Havertz. Havertz as Cam. Come on, Chelsea. Jem, be shameless. Put no Spurs players. Our fan, I would usually be shameless, mate. But today is not a shame. So we've got Havertz right wing, is what they're saying. Havertz right wing. Ziyech.
Okay.
4-2-3-1.
I think Havertz over Ziyech. I agree with that.
Yeah. So anyway, we could sit here all day doing that. So let's try and let's get away from that. We are going to talk about our predictions for the game, score predictions as well. I will open up the lines for you guys as well. You can come in and have your say. Still 150 of you here, which we massively appreciate on the channel. Are we at 100 likes? So let's have a look. We are at 96 likes. We're 4 away from 100. We should be on 100 likes. We should be on 100 likes, guys. Let's try and get to that. Alan, Matt, score prediction, mate. What are you going for?
So I'm going to stick to what I've said on other streams when I'm going to do this prediction. I was originally going to go 3-0 to Chelsea, but I couldn't go as high. So I've just gone for, I think it's been the same the last 2 times you come to our ground in the league, 2-0 to Chelsea. The way we're playing, the lack of ideas, the lack of ability or creativity in that team, the problems we've got with people missing and just a weak squad all over. I can't see any way that. The only way we could probably get a result is if we just hang out for a draw and heat on the counter-attack for a 1-0 win, but I just see it going to be a 2-0, at least a 2-0 Chelsea. I hate saying it, but...
Who scores for you?
What if we were to score?
Yeah, no, who scores? Yeah, who scores? Because you're saying 2-0 Chelsea. Who?
Lukaku. I'm going to say Lukaku and Mount.
Lukaku and Mount. There you go, people. That's his prediction. I have already said 2-0 Chelsea. I think Chelsea will win 2-0, providing we play to our full ability as well. And I will go with a Kai Havertz because I think he likes scoring in the bigger games. So I can imagine Kai Havertz scoring against you guys. And I would probably go for a Romelu Lukaku. I think if we create for him enough, one of them will end up turning away as well. So one more like from 100, we can do that, guys. The link is in the chat, guys. So if you want to come in for the next 20 minutes or so, please get involved. Have your say. Want to talk about the lineups, what we've said. Give your predictions.
Insult Spurs. Yeah, go for it.
Want to insult Spurs? Just come on, have your say. It's been a great stream, actually, to be honest. Big stream. Big stream. Can we see Kante? Maybe. Kante might come in. Yet to be seen. Only on here would Spurs players actually get in the team. Cole, to be honest, bro, I could have been biased and just said all Chelsea, but then it wouldn't make it any fair, would it? Because it'd just be me. No, like I done one with Hussam on Liverpool, and we were having arguments about Trent and Reece James and things like that. It was more debatable. Like, do you know what I mean? We've used it's like Harry Kane, yeah, Son, okay. I mean, I could have argued Chilwell, and I gave you Reguilon. Højbjerg could have just not been in the team. We could have got away with Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic. It was being fair. But you did give us Mendy over Lloris, so I have to bear that in mind as well. So predictions,
and I didn't even help a fight for the right back. I just let you have it.
Just quickly, Man United predictions. West Ham, what are you going for? West Ham are at home.
I think it's going to be. They're not with Antonio, who is a big part of their, the cause team's problems. For me, I think it's going to be Man United bouncing back, and it's going to be a 2-1 win United.
2-1 win United. I'm going for a West Ham draw. What West Ham draw? A draw. 1-1. 1-1, or I actually think they might win 1-0 and just scrape something out, but we will see. I just got this feeling that they might do something today against Man United. I don't know why, but we have got Hassan with us. Hassan, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, how you doing, guys, bud?
Bad, mate. Not bad. What do you like today?
I mean, I probably would have said that if we're doing overall in terms of goalkeepers, and I know it might sound controversial, but I would probably put Lloris over Mendy, simply because I feel like Lloris is just like, I would like what some Chelsea fans were saying, right? He has a status of world class, whereas Mendy, although he's got a world class season, I don't think you could, like, the rest of the league would look at Mendy and say, like, he's world class, like, in terms of status. I think Mendy has to do it for another season before we say he's like world class and stuff like that, like, to be put in terms of overall. So I would say that, I know some people would say what the hell and stuff, but I would argue put Lloris in terms of the combined 11 over Mendy.
Wow.
And Lloris also has a higher save percentage in terms of shot stopping.
Yeah, that's probably because of them potentially taking more shots against, if that makes sense. We don't, because we're quite solid at the back, if that makes sense. So
yeah, that's exactly what I said. So Lloris, because he faces more shots, his shot percentage is still quite high. But if we were going on the first couple of seasons for Lloris for Spurs, Lloris would be in there like all day long for me. But the more seasons that go on, the more mistakes creep into his game, and some of them have just been shocking. Like I remember the thing against Brighton where he could have just called a ball, he ended up dislocating his elbow for it, and it's just on a continual basis where he flaps at things and stuff like that, and it's coming into his game more and more as he gets older. So that's the only reason for now. That's why I said I'd say Mendy is the better keeper at this moment in time.
I was trying to argue for your case, but
don't get me wrong. People say Lloris is rubbish, and he's not a rubbish keeper. He's just got a little bit worse each season through age. You know, if
He's
you look at his
declining.
individual shot stopping, it's world class still. But he just, I don't know because he's French. If he's in the goal, like, I am beautiful, women love me, and like literally gets distracted. I don't know if that's what he's like, but he seems to go missing from bits and bobs in the game. But
he's very small in frame, Lloris, but he's still, it's weird because he's still such a great goalie. He makes some good saves, but at the same time, he just makes so many howlers, doesn't he? As well,
he does. If he got them howlers out of his game, then I would say he's probably one of the best in the world, like shot stopping and that, which what you want for a keeper. But he's he just has the errors in his game, which for me is, as a keeper, you want a solid keeper. You don't want to have to worry about what a keeper may or may not do in a game. You want to just focus on your defending. So that's why I'd go Mendy.
Yeah, I mean, Hassan, what are your thoughts on the game, mate? What do you think the score's going to be? Who do you think is going to score? And who do you think is going to? How do you think we're going to set up as well?
I think we're going to set up the usual, but I feel like we're probably going to rest a couple of players because bear in mind, Tuchel knows that a lot of their players are out. And I think some of our rotation players can come in, like someone like a Chalobah, or you could probably go Chalobah, Aspi at the back with. And but the problem is those the left-sided centre back, like Rudiger, because we also got. Bear in mind, we've got like CE, Juventus, and we've also got the EFL Cup game, so we're gonna have to rotate soon. But it depends. We could go strong now, and then play a full rotation team for the EFL.
Yeah, because we've got
our targets are to win the league, and bear in mind, EFL, no one cares about that. Let's be real. Even though I want to win everything, but no one's cares. So we'll probably go full squad, and we'll probably win about 2 or 3-0.
2 or 3-0. Fair enough, guys. The link is still in the chat, guys. If you want to come for the next 10 minutes or so, please get involved. Let us have your thoughts and predictions as well. Klopp over typical Liverpool comment. But
for me, like, this is a game because we have got a lot of problems. Just play like Tuchel. If he takes risks and decides to rest players, you may come unstuck. If you play your first team, I'm fully expecting to lose because we've got so many problems at the moment. Yeah, just where I see it. But if you start, playing players that are bit part players or people that are like reserve, you may come unstuck, and then we'll just fans feel like we had the chance to, not just beat your rivals, but go back to top of the table. It's a clear marker that you're the team to beat. You don't really want to go taking those risks in the Premier League when you can still play your reserves against. Who have you got in the cup?
Villa, we got Villa. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, but what would you rather, Premier League or League Cup?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think the thing is we've got a big enough squad, and the depth of our squad allows us to maybe play 2 different types of teams, and we should do really. I think we could get away with doing that. I think Aston Villa will probably rest a couple themselves as well. But I think it's going to be an interesting game today. I'm looking forward to it actually in terms of how we turn up and set up. I mean, that Alan, I've said this to you earlier as well. It's a derby, mate. Anything can happen. And what Couch said here is like, do not underestimate your opponent. It's good to be confident, but at the same time, in the Premier League, anything can. And look, Kane turns up today. Lucas Moura turns up today. They could be the difference. You know what I mean? And we might not play to the levels that we play. We might just have one of them off days. You just don't know.
Just seems to me, if I was a Chelsea fan, I'll be honest right now. If I was a Chelsea fan with that team and the way like the manager and the way our clubs run and the owner and that, I'd be like, we're going to win today and we're going to win the league. I would love that to be Spurs. I would be happy if roles were reversed. That was my team. I'd be like, we're favourites to win the league and we're going to win today. I'd be that confident. But you Chelsea fans don't seem confident.
It's confident. I think we all are. Most of us are deep down know that we can get this done. You know what I mean? But what we've got here, police mic'd up us up in the away end. Geez, this is going to be extreme. They've mic'd. What does he mean? Mic'd us up. I don't know. Mixed them. Sorry, police have mixed them up in the away end. Maybe I don't know.
That can't be right. I don't think that's right. That can't be right. Surely 4-0. Wow.
30s say Lukaku, Werner. Trust me, let it be now. 30s coming out quite confident. We're having Liverpool and Chelsea debates in the chat. I don't know why Liverpool fans keep popping up these days against us. They obviously find us a threat all the time. They're always worried about Tuchel and Chelsea and everything else. I've noticed it. Reece. Even Sonny come out slagging off Chelsea, saying that we're not even a, we're a team.
And
Anyway,
don't forget, Jem, 10 seconds later, he contradicted himself.
literally, do you know what I mean? Word floating about that the police will be in the away end, mic'd up on Sunday. Be aware. The undercover police with mics and hidden cameras in the away ends today. So there's police going to be in the stands watching. I think that's probably just to stop any violence. And if it does happen, they've got proof of it and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but that's probably normal, I think.
Yeah.
Like with derbies and stuff.
Josh says this is Chelsea 2-0 tops, is what he's saying. Big up to him as well. But we've done nearly an hour and 20. Undercover police on the away end, Jem. Yeah, I just read the tweet now. I just literally looked at it on my phone. Thank you, Fata, for that as well. Hassan, thank you for coming in, mate. We appreciate you as well. Appreciate it, mate. Talk to you in a bit. Adam, we'll see what happens, mate. Whatever happens, I'm sure it will be an interesting game. Might even be a little bit. I mean, Rams. What does that mean? Come on now. As a Liverpool fan, come in. Stop sitting in the chat being a little Klopp, Tuchel, Chelsea are bad. What is all this nonsense?
Come on, Rams.
The link's there. You want to come in and talk big?
To be fair, I was on a stream with Rams. He's not as deluded as other Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
He's not bad, but stuff like this.
He's not as bad as like Hussam and people like that,
Or Sonny, LFC Sonny. Oh my god.
Sonny's something else. Sonny's just something else.
Wow.
Question to the Spurs fan: if Werner starts, how will you cope with his speed?
I think we'll cope all right if he starts because we'll be sitting that far back. I think the game for him is later. I suppose if we have to chase the game because now the fans are back. If we sit back and we get opened up quite easily and we're not attacking, the fans are going to boo beyond belief, and then we'll have to come out and play. And that's where Werner will then have the in behind because he causes problems for all teams with his pace. Most players who rely mainly on speed. Zayn, Zayn, my God, he hit last season, didn't he? He hit when Liverpool were losing, and then all of a sudden,
and then he comes out of nowhere. As soon as Liverpool start doing well, he comes out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? But Ram says, when you're bored, just like to annoy Chelsea fan because it's fun. Fair enough. Ram, stop embarrassing yourself is what Fergie's son's saying as well. But guys, great show. Over 110 likes, nearly massive. 200 live viewers tuned in today with us. Still 140 people here now. Continue to smash the like button, guys. We should have made 2.8k subscribers. If everyone before they leave subscribes to GNA TV, hits the bell notification button as well, we will hit 2.8k. Then we'll be 200 away from 3k. The giveaway for 3k, I'm not going to let you know. It's going to be a little bit different than what it was for 1k because the 1k I did the. I think I said you get to choose your design kit, and Fata won it, and he picked an England kit. Funny enough, so I bought him an England kit and sent it to him as well, which he's happy with. So it will be a little bit different, but we need to get to the 3k mark before I can start doing giveaways on here and talking to you guys about that. Also, we've got the Discord channel. Big up to Bex. She's just put the link there for you guys to get involved as well. Click the link, download the app. It will take you straight to the community of GNA. Tune in over there. I put YouTube uploads over there. We also talk mostly all day, every day about football, about what's happening. Laugh at some rivals in there as well, if there is any rivals and stuff. So, yeah, it's all good. All of these 100 people are subscribers. They are as well. Couch says great stream. Big up to him as well. Thank you for tuning in. And Alan, thank you for coming on. First time on GNA TV. I hope you enjoyed yourself, having a bit of fun with that.
It wasn't bad for a Chelsea run stream. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't
that bad. I was being fair. Come on, the combined 11. I could have been. I was going to be really Chelsea and just be like, no, and just cause arguments. But I like Alan. It depends who I've got coming on. Do you know what I mean? Hussam, I know I can wind up. So that's why I was, debating Reece James over Trent, and he nearly pulled his hair out because he was like, no, what are you talking about?
If this stream was for the season where you were first and we were second, it would probably be a load of arguments because we both thought our teams were going to win the league and. When we had Ericsson and Dembele and stuff like that, it would probably be more of a cutthroat combined 11. But I can't really argue much.
Fergie says big up to Alan. Big up to Alan as well. Alan, where can they find you? Where can they find you on Twitter, mate? Let everyone know where they can find you on Twitter.
They can find me. My Twitter handle is Alan R Clark 3, and then I am also on the terrace, full terrace, every now and again, giving my opinions on Spurs, which probably be very depressing.
I'll see you later. I'll be there. Yeah.
I'm also on the First XI, part of the Grounded Spurs panel, so I'm doing that as well. I do Igal's stream every Thursday. It's a Premier League prediction, so I'm on that as well. So go and check out Igal TV. He's all right for an Arsenal fan, I suppose. And I think
let me know. He's another. Yeah, he's all right, guys. He's my boy. He's my boy.
And then I believe I'll be joining another Tottenham stream, but that's in the future. So quite a bit going on at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. Make sure that you tune into all of that, of what he's mentioned there. Josh says make sure that you smash and subscribe to GNA TV, up the Chelsea as well. Make sure we do that, guys. Continue hitting them likes. One more question. All right, one more question. Waste Man. What a name, eh? Waste Man. One more question to Alan. Has Kane been the reason of Spurs dropping points? Without Kane, they all won all their games.
I wouldn't say he's maybe a bit of the reason, because he didn't look interested for Palace. But for me, it was the manager, his tactics, and the squad, the team he set out against Palace. And then he didn't react and change it where it needed to be changed, because you could quite clearly see we weren't getting up the pitch to support Kane.
Yeah. So
it's a lot of blame for all different areas. But like I said, I think Kane doesn't look interested at the moment. I'm hoping he proves me wrong and goes on, gets a hat-trick against the Scum today, but we'll see.
Big up, big up, big up. Guys, we will be doing, there will be a match reaction show later tonight, 8 p.m. on GNA TV. So make sure that you guys stay tuned later on tonight for that as well after the game.
I'm busy for that.
Yeah, well, it's actually not me this time hosting it. It's actually going to be the ladies. The ladies are doing their show based around the reaction. So the ladies show, Chelsea Lady Show, will be back later on tonight for them to do that as well. I'll be on the terrace with you, most probably, talking Chelsea and stuff. But guys, make sure you enjoy yourselves. Hopefully West Ham managed to get some points out of Man United as well, which will be good for both of us, really, Spurs and Chelsea, if they can do that as well to a degree. I know you don't ever want a West Ham. I mean, a draw would probably be the best result, but you know what I mean. Anyway, but we move. Still 100 of you here. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, get on the Discord, enjoy the rest of your day. Up the Chelsea, and we move.
Come on, Spurs.
VIP still key, like bando bitch, oh please, yeah. Brand new whip, no keys, yeah. Get down on knees, yeah.